protecting your honey's flavor and everything starts in the apiary. And this first one is, I think, one of the main things that causes, if people have honey that tastes sour or bitter, I think this is coming from brood. I don't know for sure, but my guess is that it has to do with some brood in the honey, particularly if you're doing crush and strain method, where you just take the comb and you just wad it up and then squeeze the honey out of it. It has to be 100% free of any kind of debris and especially brood. And so the brood can have a little bit of a different taste to it. So that's my best guess on why some people have it taste sour. But I like to do, the method I use is add a queen excluder. And if you don't run one all the time, at least, 3-4 weeks before you're pulling honey, to make sure that all that brood hatches out. And then the bees can get back out of the way and just keep the queen from backfilling it. The bees will then backfill with honey. And then to get the honey out of the hive, so I have a 3-step method. And this first one, we start with smoke, and this is what Jerry always used to say, is get them on the run. So the smoke gets their attitude kind of straight for what we're doing here, calms everybody down, and then it starts to drive them. They start to head down into the lower parts of the hive. Then the second step is a fume board, which that's what I forgot to bring up here. So a fume board is just it's a wood, basically shim that has felt, and then it has a top layer, metal layer that heats up in the sun. And you spray or apply this either Fisher's Bee Quick or Bee-Go or Honey Bee Gone. It's a chemical that the bees don't care for, so it'll drive them away from there. The Bee-Go is, I think it's butyric acid, don't quote me on that, but it's very pungent. I call it the puke board. So Jerry, whenever we would do it, he bought a suitcase at a yard sale and put his fume boards in there because you could not have that thing in the truck. It is bad. So the puke boards rode in the bed of the truck. And so the Fisher's Bee Quick and some of the other ones, they use, I don't know what the chemistry is, but it smells like cherries. So way more appealing than using the puke board. So the Bee-Go works a little faster. I prefer to take a little extra time. I run 2 of those fume boards on hives at the same time and kind of alternate. So I give it a little bit longer to work, and it works just fine. So I prefer the one that tastes or smells like cherries. And then the third one is a leaf blower. I like to use an electric leaf blower to remove the stragglers. And then transporting supers on baking trays. Here it is. I knew I had it out here. So if you're going to pull any honey at all, these are aluminum full-size, full-sheet baking trays, and they fit a honey box perfectly. There's be just a little bit of a lip on the front and the back, but these are awesome because they're heavy aluminum. You can get them from Restaurant Supplies, or Amazon usually has them in like a 6-pack or some kind of they're a little bit pricey, but not too bad. And they're incredible because they slide in the bed of the truck. It catches all the honey drips. It keeps the bees from getting up into the boxes.
What size is that?
It's a full sheet.
Full sheet.
Yep.
So just a full sheet baking tray.
Yeah. Yep. And so it's like what they use in commercial bakeries for cookies and that kind of stuff. So, but that one is one of my pro tips. So that one's awesome. And then, so this is the 3-step method, what it looks like. I have a video. I was going to try to play it, but we just recorded it yesterday. And so it'll be out on, I'll put it out on social media and stuff so you can see it. But this is the same method. It's just in stages. But start with some smoke in the top to get them on the run, moving down into the hive. Then this is the fume board. So you spray a little bit of this on the bottom side of the fume board on the felt. And then that works the bees down. And so you can see here, I had the fume board on top of this one. I was working on this super, and you can see it's running the bees out the front door. So you do have to be careful with a fume board, especially the Bee-Go. it will run the queen and everybody out the front of the hive. They really hate the stuff. So just, it's a calibrated thing. Just keep an eye on it. I was paying attention and taking pictures and doing all these things so I could try to document what I was doing. And I looked over and I was like, whew, uh-oh. So they will come running out of there. But I use an electric leaf blower, and the electric stuff has come a really long way. So it's really nice to not have to mess with the gas and the oil mix and that kind of stuff. It's, you can throttle it. It's super easy on the bees. So this one is a Cobalt. That's their, I think it's Lowe's brand, but it's the 80 volt. You can't really find those in the store. But I've got this weed eater, electric weed eater, and the leaf blower uses a big same battery pack. Highly recommended. I get no commission. It works. That's what I've had for the last 6-7 years. So, oh, and then a plywood sheet on the ground, because you don't want, when you're using the leaf blower, you don't want all the leaves and the grass bits to blow into the box. And let me see if this will, hey, I get started. So that's when I left the fume board on too long. You can see the bees are running out, they're pouring out the front of the hive. So people tell you that fume boards don't work. That's not a true statement. And if they say you have to use the puke stuff, that's also not a true statement. The cherry stuff works too. Whoop. And then I'll have to click on this one, I guess. And then this is the leaf blower. So I angle this, aim this at the hive, and all it does is just dislodge them and kind of remove them from the box. And then once they're out and confused, they're going to fly back into the box. So it's just a matter of kind of going up and down, and you want to get where the end bars, there's usually a lot of bees on each side of the box tucked up into the end bars. So what I do is I blow from this top side first, then I'll flip the box around and blow from the bottom side, because you'll get different airflow from the bottom, and then flip it back from the top, clean it up, and it goes straight in the truck, bed of the truck, on a cookie sheet, throw an outer cover, throw a lid on it right away, because the bees will continue to come back and try to steal the honey. So that's what it looks like in the bed of the truck. So 18 by 26 is the dimension for that tray, but it's called a full sheet. And you can see it fits just perfectly. And then again, I'm just using an outer cover to throw the lid on it.